Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. Now, Sparking Zero has been out for almost a month now, and I've spent a ton of time messing around on it and learning about all of the systems and mechanics that it has to offer. I'm happy to say that I haven't hit a wall yet, and I keep on finding ways to innovate my game plan, and I keep on running into people that show me new ways to play the game. It's been a really good time, and we just had our first tournament on the channel, and it was a massive success. It featured some very solid players, so shout outs to everybody that participated. That being said, nothing is perfect, and today I have some suggestions for the gameplay and the ranked systems that will make things a lot better and a lot more enjoyable for those that are playing, in my opinion. When this game was coming out, we all said we wanted chaos, and that still rings true for the most part. With chaos comes order, and I do think a few adjustments should be in place to make this a more enjoyable experience, and some of those adjustments can be by way of nerfs and buffs to some techniques and characters. Yajirobe was already hit with a nerf, and since the nerf I've seen him a lot less, which is a good thing. It was starting to get really boring seeing the same characters over and over again. Now that is still happening, but this could be a way to alleviate some of that. And yes, this game is as sweaty as your next fighting game. If you put a ranked mode in a game and you have two people fighting each other, they're going to try and find the most effective ways to win. With competition, there should come a level of balance. Not balance by way of making a Cyberman strong enough to compete with Jiren, but balance in the way of mechanics being utilized. Let's start with techniques, and really there's only one technique in this game that I think should be heavily nerfed, and that is Afterimage strike. Now, since thinking about this and recording this video, I've actually come up with some strong counterplay to the technique, albeit very obvious. I'm sure a lot of you guys have figured it out by now. Key blast spam and keeping your distance works very well, and obviously grabbing your opponents. Swinging at them is way too risky. You can teleport and you can react, but again it's better to keep your distance, but also be careful of key spamming too much because they can deflect them and that builds their skill points. The reason I'm calling for this to be nerfed is not because it keeps beating me, as evidenced on streams and in my ranked videos. I don't have a problem with dealing with Afterimage strike anymore. The reason I'm asking for it to be nerfed is because I feel like it is playing the game for people. I don't like the idea of a technique that holds someone's hands too much. It also doesn't really follow a consistent line of logic when you put it next to Afterimage, which is the regular one. Afterimage costs 2 skill points. You get 1 Vanish from it and that's it. Afterimage strike costs 3 skill points and it remains active for 15 seconds. 15 seconds in a game like this can literally mean life or death. In all honesty, I'm not sure why the technique is in the game to begin with, but they're not going to remove it. So instead of trying to advocate for that, I think I've got a couple of penalties that can be applied to it. Activating Afterimage strike should incur skill sickness and key sickness. Yes, that's right, double whammy. Both your skill points and your keys should take twice as long to go back up. I would say 30 seconds. Think about the amount of damage you can do in 15 seconds. Think about all the nonsense you can get away with in 15 seconds whilst your Afterimage strike is present. Well, the rewards can be high, which they are, but the risks can be even higher, which I think they should, and I think that would go in line with the law of the show. If people want their hands held, I think there should be some punishment for it. Outside of that, there isn't actually any techniques I'd like to see nerfed. Everything else actually seems well done. Wait, actually, hold on. That is a lie. This isn't the only technique. I've just remembered another one. Whatever that nonsense is that the androids keep on doing that gives them super armor, I'm not sure if it's false courage or lost courage. I think that's the name of a song. Either way, whatever its name is, when they get armor and they can continuously grab spam you, that needs some adjustments. If you're going to give people a skill that does that, then their character's defense should take a small hit when the skill is no longer active, and that should happen whenever they activate it. For however long the defense boost is active is how long you'll have lower defense stats. So for example, if the defense stat becomes active and you have 10 seconds to use it, then the 10 seconds following it being deactivated, you should have lower defense, meaning you take more damage. I think that's fair. Risk and reward is what makes fighting games exciting. It's what makes the actual fight exciting. It gets boring when someone doesn't have to risk anything, but can just spam something over and over. Actually, do you know what? I've lied again. There's another technique I've just thought of in the back of my mind, and I think this one needs to be addressed, and that is instant sparking. A simple fix to put more risk on it is when somebody activates instant sparking, they get skill point sickness. You need 3 skill points to activate instant sparking. So when somebody activates it, they go straight into a mode that gives them infinite amounts of power. Well, I think when they come out of that, their skill points should take much longer to regenerate. Again, risk and reward. You add more strategy to the fight. You make people think about what they're doing a little bit more rather than just turning off their brain chains and activating whatever nonsense they want. Outside of those three, I think I'm done with techniques unless I remember another one at some point in this video. Now then, onto some of the characters, and this isn't aimed at any one character, but rather what characters can do with certain blasts and rush attacks. I'm talking about unblockables. There is almost no reason why blasts, rush attacks and ultimates should be unblockable given the damage that they do and the situations they put you in. There are a few exceptions to this rule, and I honestly don't mind Hercule having one because that's basically all he's got, but everyone else, I don't know, I think you'd need to put forward a solid and strong argument or reason as to why people can not only go into instant sparking and spam key blasts at you, but also hit you with an unblockable. My simple fix to this is making everything blockable. I don't think you should have unblockable ultimates. I don't think you should have unblockable rush attacks or blasts. It seems really silly to me. It takes you out of the fight and again is a form of hand holding. Just make them blockable and that would fix so many issues. Once again, I don't mind Hercule having an unblockable rush attack. He's so weak in this game that is a way to keep him somewhat viable. But outside of that, I don't think there's many reasons to give people unblockables. That also brings me to key spam. Key spam in sparking mode needs major adjustments. It is far too powerful, and in a game where fun is supposed to be the centerpiece of it, this is anything but that. Now don't get me wrong, I want to win as much as the next guy, so I know what I need to use to win the games, but I would be lying if I said that this stuff is not straight up BS. I use key blast spam. As a matter of fact, I use Freezer and Cell, and their key blasts are very, very strong, but I still think they should be nerfed. A fix to this is making your sparking meter drain as fast as your regular meter does when throwing key blasts, or when people throw a barrage of key blasts, invoke key sickness on the character for shooting so many at the opponent. That would kind of again be lore accurate, since characters in the TV show do get very tired when they spam key blasts. I think again risk and reward comes into this, and if you're going to allow people to throw multiple key blasts at their opponent, they should have to deal with some sort of risk following that. It makes the fights a lot more interesting. Vanishing battles are probably the worst part of this game and completely cripple the momentum of the fight. I think to incentivize people to not use them too often, they should probably take away more key than what they do. I'm not sure how else to fix them. You could make them harder to time or make them a ton quicker, but either way they need to fix this because it's so lame, and sometimes you get trapped into doing them, and if you don't do it then you're going to lose a bar of health. It's a very, very annoying part of the fight, and I feel like it dictates a bit too much of the gameplay for my liking. Now those are really my major gripes with the gameplay. I'm going to get onto ranked now, but outside of that I think they've done a pretty good job with this game. If you have any more suggestions, then let me know down below and we can talk about it. Now then, as I said, on to ranked. Ranked is where we spend most of our time on this game, and I've got to be honest, because of the nature of this game, I really think they need to look at a couple of things. Let's start with the most obvious one. Take points away from the person that disconnects and give them to the person that stayed. Very simple. Don't want to hear no dumb excuses about lawsuits or whatever else like the Tekken developers try to give us. Just give us our points so our time is not wasted. That is it. That's all we're asking for. It's not a major deal. I don't know why Bandai Namco wants to die on this hill. Aside from that, I think we need a few more ranked modes. Having a singles mode and a DP mode is great, but because of how powerful characters are in this game versus some others that are not really well favored, I don't think singles has been handled in the best way. In a one-on-one fight, you're likely not gonna win a fight using Hercule against Goku. Even if you could, most people are not dumb enough to risk it in ranked, and so you get almost no character diversity. It's the same 5 to 6 characters over and over again. You get an abundance of fusions: Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or regular Gogeta, Vegito, UI Goku, Jiren, Hit, and some others. It gets really, really boring. So how do you fix this? Have a singles DP. What do I mean by that? Break it down so you have a ranked mode where only people from 1 to 4 DP can enter. Then do one from 5 to 7, and then a no holds barred one. You essentially get 3 single ranked modes so that people can get to see and fight other characters, and they also don't feel pressured into picking a god tier to win. This also stops you from having to nerf and buff characters over and over again so they get better representation online. This way you can still keep it lore accurate with the strong characters dominating, but they're in their own section of ranked. Now, for example, so this makes sense to everybody, what I'm trying to say here is anyone can enter the no holds barred section. So if you want to enter that part with Yajirobe and go up against Beerus, that's completely up to you. If you think you're strong enough to use Jace and go up against Whis, that is on you. But Whis and Beerus cannot enter the 1 to 4 section. for example, because they would obviously dominate. Everyone wins in this regard. That's just my suggestion, so people get to see more of the game and have a better experience online. Some people do actually want to use the weaker characters, but going into ranked on singles is basically a lose-lose situation for them. So again, a simple fix for that is have sectioned off ranked modes. There should be a ranked mode like there is now where anybody can enter with any character and see how well they can do, but there should be a ranked mode that limits DP. You shouldn't have a mode where Goldo is fighting UI Goku. It makes no sense. Goldo's never going to win that. You would have to be incredibly incompetent to lose that fight. Outside of that, guys, I'm not sure what else I'd like to change from this. There are a few nitpicks here and there. I'm not really happy with how the music has been handled in this game. There is actually a lot of good music, but the fact that it's not assigned to a stage and you have to continuously keep picking it is quite annoying. Now, I do understand they've put a lot of music in the game, so that's a good thing. I just don't feel like it's been handled in the best way. But I'd like to hear from all of you. What suggestions do you have for Sparking Zero to change and improve? I honestly do think we've been given a fantastic game here, and the more that I play it, the more I discover that there are new ways to play it or better ways to play it, and I'm excited to see where the game goes. And now that we do have platforms where you can update them and you can update the game, the sky's the limit, to be honest with you. But let me know if you guys have any suggestions in the comment section below, and always, guys, take care of yourselves, have a good day, and peace.